All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kitchen Table Podcast where business gets done. I am your host, Ken Baden, and I'm sitting here with Jacob Lawson, author of Make It Extraordinary. And he made it super easy for me because he's got it on his shirt. He knows I'm a sales guy, so he was like, I'm gonna make it easy on this guy. I'm just gonna wear this on my shirt. Jacob, how you doing, bro?
I am doing extraordinary today. Thanks for having me, Ken.
Dude, I gotta say this. Has anyone ever told you that you sound like what I imagine Gambit from the X-Men would sound like? Have you heard that before?
That's the first time I got Gambit. I get a bunch of things, but that's the first time I got Gambit.
There's worse things, dude. There's worse things. I
I'll
mean,
take it.
Gambit, I'll take it too. I mean, if I was you, it's like a Cajun. Are you from Louisiana?
Born and raised New Orleans, Louisiana.
That's the first time you've got Gambit. Isn't that what his whole thing is?
I'm not sure. I
You're not an
don't know.
X-Men guy? All right.
Not an X-Men guy. I
So,
love the concept of it. I've never dove into the movies much.
well, it's a compliment, brother. Trust me.
Other than
It's
always
not a
wanting to
knock.
be shredded like fucking Hugh Jackman,
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
my
That's right.
goal.
Right. Channing Tatum played Gambit in the most recent iteration, but he did a terrible fucking job. I mean, he did a good job in Gambit, but his accent you might find offensive, dude. You're gonna have to watch it. Like, dude, really? That's not how we sound. This is how
Well,
we
I've
sound.
gotten Channing quite a few times, especially when I was a little bit younger. So
Yeah, there you
there you
go.
go.
I love the accent, man. So, besides the fact that you obviously are from Louisiana, and anybody couldn't deny that if they've listened to you for a few seconds. So, you're author of Make It Extraordinary, right? That's what we're here to talk about today. But you're also a businessman, which just fits right in with we talk to a lot of business owners. I believe it's a flooring company. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Awesome.
my primary portfolio is my flooring company. It is Extraordinary Flooring. We've been in business over 20 years. We are commercial concrete polishing and coating experts. That is definitely my primary breadwinner. It's how I pay the bills, and it's been my life's passion for quite some time now.
For 20 years. That's awesome. Was this all you, or is this like something you came into with like a family thing, or
Came into it with a Home Depot card and a prayer.
20 years? Okay, man.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
look old enough to have been in that business that long, but that's what's up, man. That's awesome. So this is just you building it up 20 years and here you are, right?
yeah, yeah. I worked offshore and overseas as soon as I got out of high school. Did that for a couple of years, and I had a big brother slash mentor who was the next door neighbor of mine. Not by blood, just by relationship. He took me under his wing, and I would when I was home from offshore, which you get like a week or two off whenever you pull a long hitch, and he'd be like, "Hey man, you want to come do some side work?" I'm like, "Let's go." He never had to twist my arm to go hustle for something, and so he had a traditional flooring company, tile, wood, marble, and that's how I got that start. I was on side days, side gigs when I was home. I'd go work with him, and eventually, after a couple of years of offshore, the money was great. The travel was great. I was working overseas. I was getting to see some different countries. I was young, 21, 22 years old, making great money. But I had a father, or have a father, that raised us basically from an old rig, and with great way he provided for us. He's a great father, and but it definitely put a toll on me, saying like, if I don't make a move from this offshore gig, I'm gonna end up making too much money to move. And that's when I had my what I call my Home Depot card and a prayer moment, and I jumped off and started my business.
Dude, that's how old were you again when you did that?
I
20?
was about to be 23.
That's an adult. I mean, that's some really invaluable. I mean, that's talk about like that entrepreneur pool, man. Like to be in a position, I'm saying this for a reason. So I just got this young man, as a business owner myself, I had a young man that was interviewing with me last week, and he wasn't somebody who was just like, I'm in. Sometimes we get those guys who are just desperate for a job. He was very cautious, and I respect that. He was cautious because he's a computer science engineer making 120 benefits. Like you were making great money, young man making great money. Uh, and you got that pull of like, well, I'm gonna stick here and I'm gonna start making too damn much money to where I just can't leave. And then I'm comfortable. And it's that comfort level. So this kid tells me, he says, look, I'm making 120. I got a house. I got a girlfriend or fiance, dog. I can do mostly what I want, but like I'd have to kill myself to get to that next level in my career. And then that's pretty much it, man. I'm capped out, right? I'm 28. I want to bet on myself. Kid had knocked doors like back when he was like 20. And he's coming back to me fully like that. This is my college degree, my career. And now he's like, I'm 28. If I don't do it now, I'll never get to do it. I want to bet on myself. And I was like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, I love it, dude. Like, come on, Hey, I'm not selling you. You're selling me. But I just respect that so much. And if you're listening, look at you're looking at the end result right now. This young man's yet to pave his path, right? And I sincerely hope and expect it'll work out. But you got a guy who could have made great money, and then he decided, you know what? If I do this, I'm stuck here. That's great, and I'll be great. I'll be good, but I won't be great, and I certainly won't be extraordinary, in 20 years. And so that's badass, dude. I love it. So you're a seeker of the extraordinary. I say that all the time. I say we don't want average here. We're not looking for guys that are seeking consistency or average. We want the seekers of the extraordinary. I say it all the time. So I love it.
Yeah.
And you even have that extra like highlighted. So tell me about that, man. We just got the backstory into how you even got into the flooring. So you start doing flooring, 20 years of building up this amazing business that really just, now keeps everything going. Let's talk about what that legacy play is that you were talking about.
So, real early, I had the name of, originally it started Big Jake's Affordable Flooring, and that was not exactly attracting the big spenders, but wasn't too far into the game, and I actually had an aha moment, and it was like, make it extraordinary. And I said it to myself, and it was instantaneous. That was all right. This is it. This is your new play. This is the new name of the business. This is gonna be what you provide. This is gonna be what you stand for and what you stand on. And so once I changed that name, it changed perspective. It changed a lot of things, and I call it in God's divine time. All things start working in your favor when you put forth that effort and you start going for it. Things changed. We started, really growing. We started getting big jobs, big clients, high end stuff. And so make it extraordinary. It's been the flooring model for, almost, 18, 20 years now. It wasn't until a few years ago when I really made a big shift into personal evolution, personal development, that a lot of this other stuff started changing as a persona for me as a person. When I started evolving myself more into a businessman, I got to I got through my first 15 years through sheer work ethic and determination. Grind your teeth, back up against the wall, make it happen type effort, right? But that works for so long and get you to so many levels, but then you get to a plateau and it's like, all right, something's got to change in order for me to elevate. That's when I dove into personal development, everything, books, courses, mentorship programs, masterminds. And that got my mind elevated, brought me to a next level, became a next level of a leader for my team, did some big things with business, doubled and tripled revenue, constantly growing and evolving every year. So, that was huge, but I, I had a lot of things going for me, beautiful things in my life, beautiful family, building a dream house, dream cars, restaurants, other businesses. And all of these things were going really well, not without headaches, not without problems, but still going really well. But I still didn't feel, quote unquote, pun intended, extraordinary. I felt like there was more I can do. I wasn't all the way there. I had let myself go physically. I wasn't in the great shape that I've been in different times in my life because I was focusing, juggling so many balls in business and family and, all of these other things. And I finally committed. I said, you got to change. I yo-yoed a couple 40 pounds for a couple years, every couple years since high school, just in my natural evolution of life. And I said, this has got to change. And when I tied in the permanent physical fitness, it really was that mind shift change that all of these other things now tied in. Now I'm feel extraordinary across the board. Now I'm
Mm.
not just doing well this way, this way, this way. Now as a whole, myself as a person, I feel extraordinary. And that's really what kind of changed that evolution of not make it extraordinary as a flooring model, but make it extraordinary as a life model.
How important do you think physical fitness, what you do to take care of you, is as it translates to success?
So there are always exceptions to the rule. There are many out of shape, wealthy people, right? But how well do they feel? The bank account looks good, but do they feel good when they're out of breath walking to the parking lot? Do they feel good when they can't pick up this or they can't jog around the block or they can't do this? It is not the end all cure all, but there's never going to be a part where being out of shape is going to work in your advantage or where being in shape is going to work to your disadvantage.
I love
It
that.
is, it's always going to work in your advantage and it's always going to make you feel better. And when you feel better about yourself, how much willing are you ready to take on and conquer the world? You're ready to take on these business challenges that we have because you're not dealing with your own. But when you're dealing with your own and you're trying to deal with business challenges, that's like, climbing up the hill backwards. Shit ain't easy.
No, no, and I brought that up for a reason. I mean, it's very popular these days with personal development. A lot of these coaching folks, and there's guys that's their whole thing, right? But we just talked about Brad, right? And I have a ton of respect for Bradley. He's been somebody that I've wanted to emulate for years now, right? Him, Grant Cardone, like that's where kind of my idea of like that wanting to do that, whatever that looked like, this in the future, came from, but he would probably be somebody where I've seen him like work out and do those things, but he's also like eventually every once in a while he's kind of just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm talking about, right? He's like, well, yeah, but I don't care. I don't have to have a six pack to make millions. And you know how Brad is. So I'm not even like, and I would never argue with him, but I love what you said. Is it ever going to hurt you? Is it ever going to be a negative? No, it can only ever be an advantage. It can only ever be something that, dude, I guess if it makes you feel better to eat the donuts and stuff, then whatever, more power to you. But like, I can't ever see a situation where being healthier versus being more healthy versus less healthy is ever going to be a detriment. It's only going to increase your energy, make you feel better, make you feel more confident. I don't know. All wins in the check column for me, but to each his own, I suppose. But I love that you said it that way. I think that's so important because you can get caught up in like, oh, you gotta be. No, you don't. I mean, Elon Musk is not exactly the picture of health, dude, and he's on his way to be the youngest trillionaire, right? Like, we know there's exceptions to the rule, but I do think in our game, so to speak, everyone is like fitness, 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 right? Hormozis, like you can't do it if not, and it's like, well, I beg to differ, but it can only ever make you better. It can only ever make you feel better or perform better, in my opinion. And I invest in myself as well. Just started, I just got a personal trainer, dude. I've been working out for years, right? Years. And like, what do I need a personal trainer for, man? Come on now. Like Roger's uncle, my director's he's not his real uncle, but whatever. Friend of mine is a personal trainer, really good shape, been trying to chase me around, talking about kicking my ass and stuff in the gym for years. I'm like, dude, I've been working out for years. Dude, I got to tell you, little tweaks just to work with somebody who knows what to do, even though I've been working out for years and I thought I looked pretty good. I've gotten to pretty okay, just saying. But like, this dude, it's like, hey, instead of doing this, do this. Like your elbow placement, right? And targeting of the right muscle, the right movement, or whatever. And it's like, it's really opened up my eyes to the value of a professional in everywhere, every area. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I've gained 11 pounds that I think's good. in the last, because that's what I wanted to do. I was getting a little thin there, man, but 11 pounds in the last like 2 months. So, and I'm not injecting anything into my buttocks, cheeks either. You know what I'm saying? It's some of it's in good, most of that's good weight, but there's a couple pounds where it's like, well, it's getting to be fall. So,
We're cut from similar cloths to put in different places, man. Because I'll tell you what, we definitely had to continue to connect offline. But no, a trainer, my trainer's Jay Ferrugia, Renegade Fitness. The guy changed my life. I'm the same way. I grew up wrestling. Wrestling made me in high school. I went to high school to wrestle. I didn't go to high school to go to school. I went to high school to wrestle. I would skip school all day long and never miss a practice. Right? That made me mentally. I give high school wrestling more credit than anything else in my teenage career on being the mental capacity that I have and the determination that I can get through whatever problems and challenges we have. And so I've always had fitness in my life and I love it, but I didn't complement that with I'm in New Orleans, baby, so we know how to party. So work out all week long, party all weekend. And then, we've got a different party and a different kind of delicate food that you can tear into for every different occasion, king cakes and everything else, right? So until I tied all of that in together, the diet, the fitness, and just like you said, the little tweaks. I've been stronger in my life through CrossFit and things of training. I've been more conditioned in my life through wrestling and MMA and that kind of training, but I've never looked as good in my life as I do now. And that's the little tweaks that the trainer has made.
and what my trainer would say is, do you want to be strong or do you want to look good? And I say, well, I want to look good. You already know me well enough, baby. Come on now. Don't ask me rhetorical questions, bro. You
Because
know
if
that.
you look good, you're strong enough, baby.
Sir, look good, feel good, perform good. So look, man, I would be remiss if I did not tell our listeners about tell us about Make It Extraordinary, man. I mean, obviously that's a big part of you, but what can we expect to get from that as businessmen, entrepreneurs, businesswomen? Like tell us what we're in for with the book.
So what I did is I am constantly building and evolving what I call the extraordinary process, and that's going to be a process that can help bring the extraordinary out in anybody. I do believe that every single person has some extraordinary in them. They have some extraordinary quality, some extraordinary trait, something that people admire about them, something that makes them different than the average. So I do believe that everybody has some sort of extraordinary trait within them. And the extraordinary process will bring that out. But I myself am still 42 years old and I am building and perfecting that process as we speak. I'm still in the trenches. I'm still learning and growing and evolving and being mentored. Just as I enjoy mentoring the people that are a few rungs underneath my experiences, right? So what I did say is I know I have enough knowledge to put out a book. I felt compelled by the man above to write one. And so what I did is I took all of the biggest life-changing lessons that I've been through in my life thus far up until I wrote it the week of my 41st birthday. Um, I was in a 2-week trip in Brazil, and I'm a entrepreneur, big business owner, and multiple businesses, so I don't have a lot of free time. But during that week, I'm like, you're gonna get the rough copy of this thing done. So I took the biggest life-changing lessons in my life, and I put them down, put the stories behind them, and almost just as importantly, as I paid homage to all the mentors that taught me those lessons, all of the people that I've been blessed to have in my life, from early on mentors that I was just blessed to have in my life to midpoint ones that changed my life to the recent ones that I paid to get into their life and their circle and so that they can help me elevate, right? So I call them the easy lessons, the hard ones, and the expensive ones, right? So 27 life-changing lessons to help you elevate beyond the ordinary. I put all of them in the book, paid homage to all the mentors, and it's got a lot of relatable content for business owners, people who are not business owners, people who are aspiring to be business owners. So, from early life lessons that everybody's kind of done something similar to those entrepreneurial stepping stones and evolutions in business that I learned either the easy way because somebody blessed me with that knowledge, the hard way because I got spanked in my ass from a lesson we had to learn, or the expensive way where I paid to get in the room and paid to get in the proximity of the people that blazed the trails before me.
Mm. And that's where I'm at in the last, the last one as well. Like you can do plenty for free. You can do plenty, and then as you learn and learn and learn, then eventually, at some point, you're gonna pay, right? Like, so don't scoff at that, right? Like, I feel like some people don't talk about that. Maybe like it's like what we were just talking about, right? Like, for instance, I had a magazine article published recently, and then I posted an article or I posted a piece of content, basically just like, hey, you can do this too. You just pay. You know what I mean? Your networking capabilities get you connected with the people to do it. So you got to put yourself out there and network, but then you pay to play. But the idea is then the brand gets built because you've paid to where now you charge, right? Like, but I'm not going to pretend like, oh, these guys sought me out and they would. I just want to know what I thought about this. But no, dude, I paid to be featured in this, and that's okay because eventually I'll be featured enough. My brand will be ubiquitous. It's everywhere to where I will be sought out and I will be now I charge this much. I charge this much per stage. I charge this much per feature. I charge this much per show. Right. But that's a great, I'm gonna have to check it out, man. Cause that sounds right up my alley and like some of the things I always preach too, which is just like, dude, you can accomplish a lot by seeking mentorship for free. And then eventually, man, when you got it, you pay to get in the room and you pay to get in the room. You don't feel like you belong until you do. And then you get in the next one, right? Like just how it goes, right? If you want to continue to grow. It sounds like we're very similar, dude. I'd love to catch up off here, man. I think we need to. I think we're kindred spirits, dude. How old are you? 43?
42.
42, man. I'm about to be 40 next year. So I'm like, hey, you're making me feel great, dude. You look great, man. You look great. I think we're going into our prime, dude. I mean, that's really the
There's
truth.
no doubt. There's no doubt. This is, look, all the people that we're looking up to, and it sounds like we're already looking up to the same people. They didn't get to where they're at in their 40s. They got to where they're at in their 50s and 60s, right? And that's where they're really where we're trying to head. They built what they have in their 40s, right? And obviously there's journeys before that, but this is the prime when you've been building and grooming yourself for those next stages and evolutions. And this is our time, and hopefully with the changes that happened last week, maybe we get those business tailwinds in our favor as well, right? We're
Yes,
built up,
sir.
ready to blow, baby, ready to blow.
I and if you're a business owner, I don't know, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I'm happy as hell, man. I mean, look, I try to stay like because it's just not good for content unless that's your deal, right? If your deal is that's what you talk about, but sales and business, right? But there's a couple episodes if you go back and look, all I'm doing is ranting, dude. Just a full on rant. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk about this, but you got to think about this. We just be smart. Just vote smart. I ain't saying who. Just use your brain.
That's it.
I think you'll get there, right? We did. Look at it. Look at it.
Nobody does well in a shit economy.
No,
Nobody.
no,
There's
no.
no
And that
such thing as
was
a perfect anything, but nobody does anything good in a shit economy.
no, no. And as a business owner, man, I'm so fucking excited. For excuse my language, but that's how excited I am. I am so excited about. We have very short. Our goals are to build, scale, and exit in the next 2 years, right? And I believe by exiting now, I've got something worth. I want to coach. I want to do all these things. I have a coaching company. I have a consulting company, right? And these are things that I've already done a little bit, right, on a small scale. And then I dialed back to focus mostly on the business because I'm not in that 20-year like you, right? I felt the need during our scale this year, like, let me refocus on this, man. I don't want to be too many places. However, once that happens, I believe that's that resume piece to then focus on the consulting, focus on the coaching. Like, hey, I've built, scaled, and exited a business, which, in my opinion, is the entrepreneurial like plight, right? Like, because that's what I want to do. Or you're building something that's generational or whatever. But for me, it was always, hey, I want to build, scale, exit, and move on to the things of the folks we have. Dude, you build a brand that's so powerful that you can really put your hands on anything and it becomes something massive overnight. That's just such a cool concept. And I'm watching these guys do it. And I know guys like you and I are next. I know it. I know it.
Just putting in the work, man, putting in the reps, trying to refine ourselves, trying to bring up and help other people along the way. That's part of giving it back, paying it forward. There's reasons why we are in the positions we're in now. It isn't because we're just this amazing freaking person that just doesn't need any help. No, we've all had help. We've all had reasons. Some of the biggest lessons we learned are the hard way, but plenty of the lessons we learn are the easy way because we've been blessed to have some people in our lives that showed us something, and or gave us
100%.
something to look up to and chase after, right? So that's legacy play, man, and it seems like we're definitely on the same path. We got to build our own legacy, and part of our legacy is going to be by the way that we're going to help other people.
Yes, I could not agree more. And there's other, I don't know, well, we could talk until next week. I got another meeting for my actual business here. I'm running up on, but that's neither here nor there because I want to know where can people find you? Like, tell us where they can get the book and tell us where they can find you.
So the book's on Amazon. Make it extraordinary. Follow me on Instagram. Make underscore it extraordinary. I put out a daily motivational video. I've got plenty of content I do put out, but I've got that staple daily motivational video where it's a lot of things on different mindset. Really, I have no structure or schedule to it. The man upstairs puts something in my head every morning while I'm working out in the gym. That's my space that I get to just think freely and create, and something in that workout is gonna strike me to talk to somebody. It's never planned. It's never prompted. It's never rehearsed. If I stumble on my words, that's what it's gonna be on. Although I very rarely do. Thanks to my earlier hip hop days and career,
Nice,
I've
man.
got kind of
Uh,
nice little tongue sometimes. So, but it is a daily motivational video, and I've already started to change lives. This is just a service that look, once again, the man. Look, I believe in a man upstairs. I'm not belong to any religion or anything like that. I really don't believe in a lot of religions because they all have their own gifts and curses,
agendas and
rights and
everything, right?
wrongs. So I don't get into all of that. But I do believe in a man upstairs. I believe in the power, the energy, the earth, doing right, doing good, paying things back. Good, put good things out. Good things are gonna come back. Call it whatever you want. Um, and so this whole journey didn't start because I want to be rich and famous. This journey started because I was talking to myself, I was bettering myself, and as I was doing that, something told me, Jake, you got to share this with other people. There's other people that need this message. There's other people that everything that you're telling yourself, somebody else needs to hear. And ever since I've done it, I get the callbacks. I get the calls from people I haven't seen in a long time that they won't even mention it on social media. It's like they won't, but they'll be like, Jake, dude, you're changing. You're pulling me through this. You got me working out. You got me doing this. Don't stop doing what you're doing. So I've already had the recognitions or the confirmations that what I'm doing is helping people. And like I said before, I'm put here to do more than just forward. I'm put here to change lives. I want to change the way people think of the word extraordinary. I think most people think it is an unattainable trait or quality. And I know that everybody has the potential to do something extraordinary and be known for something extraordinary, whether it's just how well you conversate, how you communicate, how you mentor, how you do this, how you do that, how you coach little league softball. Doesn't matter. Everybody has the ability to do something extraordinary. And, it's going to be my life's passion and legacy play to bring it out in as many people as humanly possible.
Dude, I love it, man. Honestly, I think that's amazing. We already think Roger pulled you up, but you guys got to check this guy out. I know I feel I feel motivated just talking to you, brother, and that's I got a pretty big battery, so I'm really looking forward to checking out your content, man. And I'm also honestly, I'd like to get you back on, man, and do a follow-up because I think we've got more we can talk about. Again, I don't want to hijack the rest of this afternoon, but there are a lot of parallels there where I think we could have a conversation, a separate conversation specifically about helping people and coaching that we could go a whole nother direction. But um let's arrange that offline and focus mainly on check out, make it extraordinary. Check him out. And can you repeat again where they can find you? Because I know it's blank dash or whatever. I don't want to butcher that.
Go Instagram, make underscore it extraordinary. Make it extraordinary. It's got the underscore on Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff. The book is Make It Extraordinary on Amazon, 27 life changing lessons to help you elevate beyond the ordinary. Uh, MakeItExtraordinary.co is the website.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Jacob Lawson, absolutely loved having you on, man. I love everything that you stand for, brother. And I can't wait to get you back on. Guys, check out the book, check him out, and let us know what you think in the comments. God bless.
Dude, we're brothers from another mother. We're going to hook up offline.
Oh, you already know it, man.